Well, it's been a quiet week here in Lake Scabagon, my hometown. This week, the Squids talk digestive systems and the movie Sketch. Then special guest Mikee Bridges, the founder of the legendary TomFest and member of the band Sometimes Sunday, Twin Sister, and Tragedy Ann, joined to discuss TomCon, the Portland music scene, and so much more.
Now I'm back to normal, I guess.
That's an undesirable kind of sick. On the types of sick you can be, anything stomach related has got to be down near the bottom, right? Like I'll take a headache, a fever, a lot of things over that.
Right. And I was thinking, and this is terrible, right? Like this contributes maybe to like a sense of poor body image, but I was like, maybe at least I'll lose a little weight doing this. Maybe this will be a good thing for me.
Oh, for sure. Anytime that happens. This is one of those where I'm like, you look at the dog and you're like, what's different about that digestive system that's like every day just running like clockwork? That dog. It's like a very rare occasion for at least our dog to be sick in that way. It's like, how do I get one of those systems? Maybe eat the same thing every day.
Yep.
Maybe that's the key.
Primarily meat.
Yeah. No variants. Probably no alcohol and no sugar and all the bad things.
Is your dog getting drunk on a regular basis?
Don't let him.
See your local veterinarian.
Wants to. Yeah. Don't give in to that look in their eye.
I feel like that was a thing that like I feel like I remember hearing stories of like old farmers or grandpas or something. Probably not my. I forget like if anybody in my family ever gave beer to their dog, but I feel like it's a thing you hear about like back in the day. Definitely. I don't hear about it much now. At this point, it's probably too expensive. Like, don't waste that beer on the dog. The dog won't appreciate it.
Human beings in the United States are drinking less beer themselves, so.
That's right. Yeah. Have you noticed this?
You got to assume dog consumption has gone down. Yeah, it's like the stats keep bearing it out. Like we're just drinking less. I don't know what's wrong with these kids.
Come on, go out and abuse your body just a little bit, won't you? We did it. Look at us. We're fine.
Why won't you willingly ingest poison? It's awesome. I promise you.
I know. It's like it doesn't make sense.
No, these kids.
Yeah, I think I saw on the socials, I saw that one of my favorite breweries was closing down its like most suburban location where it's like we had one or two or three different locations and we're shutting this one down because, well, they didn't say it, but I think just because like their sales maybe can't justify, but it's also like they did a restaurant and everything too. So pretty big thing.
Yeah, like there's definitely a cratering of the market because it was like can't miss for a while there. If you opened a craft brewery, like people had low bars for quality. It was just like anything local would get consumed, and then too many of those now exist. And being a packaged brewery is really hard because there's too much on the shelf, like to set yourself apart to get picked. Like I know there was some discussion of like the Portland scene where there's like a neighborhood brew pub everywhere that doesn't necessarily package and distribute. It's just like if you live in that neighborhood, that's your watering hole. And some people saying like that's a very sustainable thing where you're just pouring in your own tap room. But now if you're trying to can no one puts anything in a bottle anymore, but even a cans, it's like there's just too many choices on the shelf to make it viable.
I was thinking about Derek Webb said something about what was it, like the business of platform building and like how being a small artist like he is a much different thing than trying to build a huge platform and then you have to worry about falling off the platform and if the platform is going to fall down and that sort of thing. And a lot of operating costs. Pete Hutchinson.
Petey.
Hey, I don't know. Hold on. Here we go.
Hey, I can hear you. I can see you.
There you are.
You look like you're with a lot of people.
I'm not saying I'm wrong because, it'd be annoying.
Are they all joining the podcast?
But here you go. This is where I am.
There you go. Wow.
Are those all co-hosts tonight?
They sure are.
All those people.
Can you imagine all the files that Kevin's going to have to input?
Thousands. But I just wanted a photo op.
Very
All right.
nice. Well,
Hey,
hey,
boys.
it looks good.
Have a good time.
Make sure you ask them
Have
about
any,
ska.
You too.
any messages? Anything I should talk about while we're from the Who?
I don't think we've made that much progress.
Hey, if they play Eminence Front, call back.
Okay, I will do so. Hey, this makes for great audio, so I'm gonna head out. But love you guys. Have fun tonight.
Yell Pinball Wizard until they play it.
Enjoy the Who.
Pinball Wizard!
That's right. Yeah.
There you go.
Behind Blue Eyes.
I hope they play that song they wrote for CSI. Okay, see you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
That was funny.
I just went out. I cut out of work and took a little personal time to see Sketch today in the theaters, which is that
nice.
film with Tony Hale that Steve Taylor produced
Oh yeah.
or co-produced.
Yeah. How was it?
That was a great movie. It was really good. It was interesting because Steve did not write or direct. He just produced, I think, and so it had a slightly different, like, if you're familiar with Steve Taylor's pictures, like, I think he's got kind of a bit of a signature voice maybe, and I feel like that comes through in his films. So this one didn't feel like a Steve film, but I could see why he got on board with it and why he liked it. So that was fun. That was it was great. It was really good. Do you know anything about it?
Mm-mm. Not at all.
Okay, yeah. So just in synopsis, girl is kind of like, withdrawn a little bit, like upset about some things, and she draws really horrific pictures in her notebook. So that's she gets a talking to from like the school counselor, and then like her dad and her brother, they're like trying to live their lives after they lose their mom. And so there's a magic premise where there's a magic pond in the woods behind their house, and whatever goes in there like either gets fixed or like turns into something. So I don't think I'm giving too much away. Her sketchbook ends up in the pond, and all the horrific monsters she drew come to life. That's the setup. Yeah,
that's a good
concept. And it was really well executed. It was funny because like it's kind of like a horror picture in some ways,
right?
But it's made for a younger audience, so it wasn't like all the beats are there of like jump scares and things like that, but there was less peril maybe, and certainly like less gross out whatever. But I was also going today to figure out if my kids would want to see this film, and I think my kids are still a little bit too young.
Right.
Like I'm not sure if like they'd be scared or not, but it's at least like, yeah, it's like a little bit maybe too much for them at the ages they are. So they'd probably like it in a couple of years.
Right.
And it was produced and distributed by Angel Films, which I've got conflicting feelings about.
Interesting.
Like, I think they've done some decent stuff, but I'm not sure if I'd want to throw all my money at them. But knowing Steve was involved, I at least liked that.
Yeah, no, that would be the big plus is like his involvement.
Yeah, so I recommend it if you haven't seen it. It's worth a viewing. And I'm not sure, it may be at the end of its theatrical run. I know here in Salem this was the last week. So
okay, Mikey's here, by the way.
Oh hey, well let's say hi to him. You said Kevin is still on the way in, right? Kevin's just going to join us at some point.
Yeah, he said he had to drop off his mom in a text message, so I think he's coming. All right. But when he gets to the house.
Sounds good.
So it's us.
So we shan't wait up for him.
We should not.
We'll leave the light on.
Yes.
Okay. Michael Bridges. Hello.
Hi.
Look at those Marshall stacks. You ready to go?
I am. Yeah. They haven't been touched in 10 years, probably.
I was going to say that it's not like a Zoom background. They're like, these are actual Marshall amps behind you.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
the real
just
deal.
Collect dust. Yeah.
Hey, that's what I do with mine right now.
It's been far too long that those have seen electricity, for sure.
Yes, sir. I was just telling Jared that I have my air conditioner right next to me because it's unusually warm in Oregon, like it is in many places. I'm sitting right next to my AC, but Zoom is apparently screening it out really, really nicely. So you tell me if you hear the hum of the AC, but I don't hear the hum of your Marshalls at all.
I don't hear any hum, but I did. My parents still live up there, so I heard you guys are
Yeah.
getting, it's really hot up there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Well, and you remember what it was like earlier. It's less like that these days,
yeah,
unfortunately.
huh? Wow.
So it goes. It's always nice where you live, right?
Yeah, I kind of I'm in a little pocket, so like I'm right above Los
Uh-huh.
Angeles. I'm not in the valley. Los Angeles is like a desert, but I'm up above
Hmm.
it and I'm right on the coast. So it's like the ocean is the air conditioner for us, and it's just 72 degrees all year long, all the time. Yeah,
Wow.
love
That's
it.
perfect. That marine layer just
Hmm.
kind of keeps you right where
It's,
you want to
yeah,
be.
yeah. Very, very, very rarely will it get, 90.
That's incredible.
Wow.
80's like, whoa, oh my gosh, wow. Yeah, we're 70s. We're between 55 and 75 all year long.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's pleasant.
We've met. We've spoken briefly before, I think. I missed you by a couple of years, it sounds like, in Portland and the Portland thing.
Yeah, I want to talk
So
about that.
sorry
I want
about
to
that.
know about that. I want to know about that.
You bet. But yeah, this Jared Fries is here on the call. He's another one of our co-hosts.
Hi, Jared.
Nice to
Good to
see you.
meet you.
You too.
Jared is at a place where it is not always 70 degrees. Jared lives on the East Coast,
Yeah, where
near
are
the
you?
South, near the
I
South in
am
the South.
in, yeah, I'm in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
But it's surprisingly cool, Brock. Somehow we flipped
Is that
places.
right?
It's
Huh.
71 right now.
Okay, that's all
It's
Wow.
right.
been the
That's pretty good.
weirdest August. Like August is normally unbearable, just miserable. Like,
Right.
whenever you walk outside, it was like there was a cool breeze today. I was walking across campus. It was very confusing, but I'll take it. Like it's better than our normal August.
My best buddy's in Alabama, right outside of Birmingham,
Oh.
and I went there and I don't even know how to. I mean, I've been to the South a lot, but holy good Lord, that is just some sticky, dark heat,
Yep.
humidity, gnarly, gnarly
Yeah,
stuff.
It's oppressive.
how to live. There's
Yeah.
no good answer to that. Yeah.
And the bugs, oh my gosh. Everybody in the South and on the East Coast, your bugs are like, what is going on? What is going on? So it's gnarly. Are
Hmm.
there more? So I did my
Yes.
research and listened to a bunch of episodes, and usually there's a whole bunch of you guys, the squids, right? I did that, right? Right.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
So,
correct.
and I
Yeah.
knew it was when I heard about it, I was like, pickle home companion. Okay, I get it, prairie home companion, but I didn't get the pickle part.
Yeah.
And so I listened to a few episodes. Then I got the pickle and boot thing. Listened to a few episodes of those guys. I will say this. Uh, Reese in, I mean, I've so many bands have played for, one of the shows I've done or whatever, festivals and the music venues and stuff. So lots of bands, lots of bigger bands and, whatever. But Reese seriously was just one. There's like the top 10 guys. Reese was one of those guys that was just super awesome all the time, like every time. And I
Right.
appreciated his attitude. Five Iron guys were always awesome. Everybody was really, really cool. So I really appreciated them for that. And Reese
That's
too.
great.
So
Yeah, it doesn't
yeah,
surprise
Mhm.
me, but it's always
yeah.
nice to hear it from a new voice, a new source.
I've known
Yeah.
them for a long, long time, and it's still same guy. I think it was a few years back. Five Iron came to Ventura, and we just sat and had some food and hung out just for a minute. It was like I wasn't. It was cool that he had not gotten to a point where it was like that wouldn't have happened. There's been other bands that have come through my town that have done that.
Oh,
So yeah, but so where's the rest of what happened? Like,
Right. So that was the next thing I wanted to explain is that Kevin is barreling down the highway from a weekend with family, and he's going to be joining us at some point during the calls. So at some point, you will meet our Massachusetts contingent because he is
sweet.
on his way. And he is the CD collector. No doubt he's got other questions to ask you about some of the things you've been involved with as well. He's a big
Uh-oh.
fan of some of the more indie, the better. He was a big
Awesome.
Blenderhead fan. I know Blenderhead played some of your venues from
Yeah.
time to time.
Absolutely.
So yeah, he's on his way. Pete is going to see the Who tonight. Pete, he
Nice.
drew the lucky straw at the radio station contest, and they said you get to go see the Who tonight. And he said, "See you later, guys." So
That's awesome.
Pete apologizes. Pete regrets his absence,
Not at
but
all. Not
I
at
don't
all.
blame him. That's the sort of thing I'd love to see the Who as well. But I'm
I'd
not going to
blame
pay
him.
those
But
prices.
normally there's like all bunch of you guys, and all of a sudden I come and it's like, who's gonna be here with Mikey? Because I got this thing to do.
I
That's my
can't
life.
believe Pete picked the Who over us. Actually, I'm a little upset.
We'll ask him to apologize later. That'll be a thing that he probably
Correct.
needs to add to his slate. But no, honestly, if I was not going to be here, because obviously, one, I invited you, Mikey, so it's definitely important for me to be here since I invited you. But
You,
also,
you couldn't have
I
ducked
have
out. Yeah.
copies of. I could not. No, not easily. Anyways, we
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able. I couldn't have looked at you in the eye afterwards, probably.
Right. Right.
But I've got copies of Gecko Monks. I've got copies of Twin Sister, and I've got copies of Sometimes Sunday. And so those are all things that it's exciting to me to talk to the guy who was involved in all of those projects.
Sure. That
So
was fun.
good to
But
have
what's
you. Good
really
to have you
weird,
here.
but you said that you got up to Portland. So I got into Portland in 1989 I live in Ventura, California, but I moved up there because my parents moved up there. And so I started then and started my first club that year and, progressed into the other stuff. But you said you got there in 2000. However, is that right?
Correct.
But then
Yep.
how do you know, like, Mark from my first band, which most people don't know that. People in Portland might, but
Right.
most people don't. And then either or, and you were in Yum Yum?
Yeah. So, because did you do a stint with Yum Yum as well? Did you play on one of the
No,
records, or did you
no,
play with them at any point?
no. But I mean,
No,
they're
just
good friends. Yeah.
sure. Yeah, you were in the scene and you knew the Good Nuffs and everybody
Well,
else. So
my guitar player was in Yum Yum too. Sometime Sunday was guitar player was in Yum. He was in a bunch of bands. It was just band horror ish.
yes, yeah, a lot
Except
of
for me,
rotating parts and pieces.
no one wanted to be in a band with me.
Oh,
But
no.
everybody else did this thing where they were in all kinds of other bands, but not me. I was just in
Right.
one at a time.
Well, and at a certain point, you do have to ask how many actual like permutations could there be, and how many actual band entities were there? Like it could be there were fewer bands in Portland than we think there were because of all the
Right.
going back and forth and that sort of thing.
If you go on Aaron Brockway's the band camp, the spin cycle, the corral on spin cycle or whatever it's called,
Yes,
you'll see that. I mean, you can see that this band member was in this band and this band and this band. And I mean,
that's right.
back then it was just like there were about 6 guys and 30 bands. You're right.
Yep.
You're right.
Yeah. No, that's an excellent resource. We should probably make sure that we link to that at some point for the people listening to this, because Portland was a really, I feel like this was kind of happening to a certain extent in a lot of places, but Portland was a really unique situation in terms of what was happening. There was like a really conducive environment, and in no small part to what you had going with the venues and things. So we're going to have to ask you about some of that.
Sure.
I would be remiss if I did not mention at the top that Mikey's biggest current project is TomCon. So we don't have to unpack it all now, but what's your like nutshell description of what TomCon is? Is it a music festival?
No, it is not. And thank you for saying that, Brock. I appreciate it very much. It is not a music festival. There are plenty to choose from. I went to Furnace last year, which was fantastic. Chad is an old friend and is somebody that's given so much to the scene. But and I appreciate all of his efforts. But no, man, I'm too old and dust and dirt and loud music at 10 a.m. Like I was after music, I got into video games, and in video gaming, I was showcasing at Comic Cons, at video game expos, all that kind of stuff. Like lots of you've got to make your booth really cool kind of situations. But every time you go there, there's a panel, and that panel is You know, at Comic-Con, it's the latest and greatest movie, Superman, and it's the cast of Superman, and they're talking about the behind the scenes movie, you know, and all that cool stuff that you don't know. And I loved that so many people wanted to know that kind of stuff. As I came up in music, I love liner notes. I love making the connections of this guy and this guy. I loved all of that kind of stuff, but I never got to hear them ever talk about their lives. You know, podcasts have now come up and they're popular now. So now you get to hear that kind of stuff. And I was just like, yes, that's what I want people to hear. And then I went to, I'm sorry, this is the long explanation, but I went to
That's all right.
Undercover did a reunion, and Morzan did their kind of Mortal Folds Andura reunion. And I went to a couple other of those kind of things. Wild Blue Yonder, which is a kind of a deep cut back in Orange County Christian alternative scene. They did a reunion. And every time I walked into these rooms, for instance, the last one I went to, I get a tap on my shoulder because I'm sitting in these, you know, kind of road seats, and I get a tap on my shoulder to duck down a little bit. And I was like, oh shit. Because I'm the 6'6" guy that is embarrassed to be sitting in front of you.
You're a tall guy.
Like I'm always like really ducking down. So I was already making myself small, and I still get that tap, and I'm like, motherfucker, you know, like. And I turn around, and it is Mike Stand from the Altar Boys. Chuck Cummings is next to him from all kinds of bands. And Steve Panier's next to him, guitar player from back in the 80s. And for my 16-year-old self just burst. And these guys knew my name too. And to be in rooms like that, I watched Mike Rowe buy his own dinner at this restaurant in Orange County that was part of this show that everybody was doing. Like just, you know, hanging out, eating dinner, talking to everybody, just legendary people that are just walking through the room and hanging out, talking. And you want a photo? Sure. And a signature? Sure. And it was beautiful. And I want that experience. TomFest never had a VIP deal. We didn't have backstages. We didn't do the pretentious, you know, rock star thing there. And this is that in a nutshell. Like, come and be in this room. You're literally going to hang out shoulder to shoulder with your musical heroes from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. They're going to do some interviews, and you're going to hear them talk and all that kind of stuff. But there's no backstage. So they're going to come out and in the lobby, hang out with you and tell them your story. And they're going to tell you a story. And you're going to shake hands and get a hug and get a photo and let them sign something. And for me as a fan, it doesn't get better than that. Like I've been to a lot of music stuff, you know, been to some shows and been to some festivals. That's all well and good. We got plenty of those out there, but we've never done this, never done it. And it's about time we do something so that the fans have an experience that they'll never forget for the rest of their lives. And probably the artist too.
Absolutely. I love that.
That's my long answer.
Yeah. No, we're gonna boomerang back to it at the end so we can get into all the details and make sure that people know what's happening, when, how they get there, if they'd like to join, that sort of thing. But I love this, and it sounds like the sort of thing that, like you say, it's these are just regular people, as cool as whatever it is that they've done might be. They're just people. And if you stand shoulder to shoulder, or if you're taller than them and you stand over them and you say thank you, that's a big piece of what we've done on this show too. We have people in who have made records that we love. They're a big piece of our lives. We want to tell them, hey, we love this. Thank you so much. And it sounds like that's going to happen in that room a lot.
I listened to your episode, one of them, a bunch of them, but one of them was with Jason from Unoriginal Vinyl about the box set, the Tooth and Nail box set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, yes, man, I totally get it. You know, you just get shit on when you try to give the community something really good. I'm sure he didn't make a dollar. I'm sure anybody involved didn't make a dollar. It's like Furnace Fest right now. They were talking about, hey, sales are a little bit slow. If don't wait, buy your tickets now, like help us out. And people did uh, but people were giving them shit beforehand and unappreciation. And it's like, hey, man, if you don't like it, shut the, you know what, and, move on. But
Right.
like it or don't. Go to the thing or not. Buy the thing or don't. So to Jason, awesome. You're awesome. Love you. Awesome to give that to everybody, and Chad and everybody at Furnace, same thing. Great thing to give to people. Everybody will remember it for the rest of their lives. They'll tell their grandkids. I tell my grandkids. So good stuff.
Absolutely. And speaking of Furnace Fest, famous Furnace Fest attendee Kevin Brennan just stepped into the room. So you can see his wonderful record wall there.
Where's my record? I don't see my record up there. What the fuck is going on? See the blender head. Oh,
I mean, they get rotated in and out. So I would imagine that Stone is next.
I'm kidding. I was
gonna say if I had a CD wall, it would be up there, but
I'm like on the D list of I'm a D lister. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. No problem.
No, I do have a couple of the albums though.
Hey, I'm on the list. I'm just down on the list. No problem. I'm okay. I'm a tooth and nail grandpa is what I am. Yes, I'm okay with that.
It's true. It is that time of history. Kevin, is that a failure puddle I saw?
It sure is. Happy Failure Puddle Friday, guys.
Excellent.
Hey, just on time.
Yeah.
Kevin.
And I do have a Tragedy Ann poster over in the other side there. So
I am so sorry. Those were not great, but
those were great photos.
Kevin, where do you live? Yeah, they were great photo shoots. They were funny. We laughed our asses off. Where do you live, Kevin?
I'm on Cape Cod up here in Massachusetts.
Okay, gotcha. Wow, that's awesome. I wanted to go back to what we were talking about with Portland, though, because I'm still curious as to how you were involved in some of the bands up there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I was really tangential. So the only other thing I was going to say was if you had any other questions about how we do this, because we've already been recording, but if there's anything else you wanted to do, sometimes people get to points where they're like, hey, either I don't want to talk about this piece or I'd rather not, like whatever. So if you just give a big T with your hands, whatever timeout, we can cut whatever you like. So speak freely and we'll edit before we drop it.
I did my research and I did read it through everything, so I know the times out thing. You won't have, I'm good, unless cussing is bad.
Oh, well, cussing is very bad, but we're all guilty. No one is perfect.
Hasn't stopped us yet.
All fall short. Yeah. So yeah, my Portland connection was that I moved to Multnomah School of the Bible in the year 2000. I think they had just renamed it to Multnomah Bible College.
Yeah.
And prior to moving to Portland for school, we had met a pastor, like a youth pastor at a church in Vancouver, really small little church. A lot of folks, when they'd go to one of the bigger ones, because it was like the known name or whatever.
Sure.
But we had just met this guy and he said, hey, when you move to Portland, come visit our church. We'd love to fold you in if you'd like to be there. So we go to visit Brandon's church and he says, hey, you guys are musicians. You want to play on the worship team? Because that's what happens if you're a musician. You show up at a small church. They're like, you know how to play guitar. You're on next Sunday or whatever. And so I started playing bass with the worship team. But the guy who invited us, so it was Grace and Glory Community Church. And that was where Leon Goodenough was in attendance at the time.
Okay.
So he would occasionally contribute guitar playing to the worship schedule. And in the first couple of weeks, I was introduced to him, and perhaps somewhat uncharitably, the guy that had brought us in was like, Leon's in this band that nobody's ever heard of called Yum Yum Children. And that was mostly true, except that I had to take time to listen to Sampler. And so I knew Yum Yum Children already. Nice. So when he said, this is Leon from Yum Yum Children, I said, I love Irrigate. That is the most interesting. Like, there's not a lot of stuff using Farfisa. Thank you for putting that out there. And Leon was like, who are you? And how do you know my band? So the natural next progression was Leon says, well, I don't have a bassist right now, and I'd love to have somebody play with me. So that was when. So he was playing, and then Mark McCary, you may have met
Yeah.
him because he played with Losers Club, I think, before he started playing with Yum Yum.
I know him
And
well.
so, yeah, Leon, Mark, and I and Jennifer were kind of the performing band for a couple of years. That was what, 2000, 2001, 2002.
Let
I
me
think
just
after
ask
that,
this though.
yeah.
Did you play an outdoor backyard, Brady Wilson's backyard party? Were you there at that one? Because it was later
Mm,
on. It was after I had moved back to Ventura, but I had come back to visit,
uh-huh.
and Yum Yum played in this backyard. Maybe you
Okay.
weren't there.
Yeah, was that up in
Brady Wilson's
Yakult?
back.
Because I think I went to
I
the Seminatis for like a party, but I don't remember playing at it.
It wasn't the Simonides.
Okay.
It was the Wilsons. But okay, so
Okay.
anyways, I just
Yeah, but
thought maybe we had crossed paths.
no, maybe so. We also played an outdoor show on the back of like a flatbed truck in the like yard of a Lutheran church in like super East Portland. So, but you probably weren't there. Anyways, no, it's you and I have probably like circled each other and not even know. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
other tall
weird.
guy, I guess,
Yeah,
is what we are to each other.
because I left I mean, it was 2005, I think I
Okay.
left, but I was still doing a few things before then. I mean, Tragedy Ann
Yeah.
was still operating for a little while, but
Yeah.
that's weird that we didn't cross
You
paths.
know, there was the Bossa Nova Ballroom. There was a big like charity fundraiser. And I know Todd Fatal played with one of his other like side groups or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember who was on the bill for that. I remember it was exciting for me because it was a 21 plus venue. And I don't tell anybody I wasn't 21 yet, but I carried in a
Mm.
bass like it made me 21 and there I was playing.
Nice.
So I don't know
You
if you
forgot
were
to
at
say
that or
timeout,
not.
so that's staying in, Brock. Sorry.
That's right. They're
I
coming
hope
for
the
you.
statute of limitations is passed on that one. We'll find out. Occupied a venue. The OLCC is surprisingly strict, so we'll see what happens.
My guys in Sometimes Sunday were so young that we'd go play clubs and they would make them sit outside
Yeah,
until we had to play, and then we'd play, and then they'd have to go back outside again. They
yep,
couldn't
Oh
be in there.
gosh.
They were so young,
yeah.
yeah.
I had a
16 and
similar
17.
situation. Yeah. My bandmates when I had a band together, that was what 05 or 06. We played at the Ash Street Saloon, and I was running
Yeah.
all the like energy beverages for them from the bar because they couldn't go get them. And I think at some point I was just tired of doing it, and I was like, "Go ask for it yourself." And we almost got kicked out. Like we almost didn't play because of that. So
Ash Street, is that still around? Last
oh
time I
no,
was there, it was.
it
No?
imploded. I was trying to remember what it turned into. It might be the expansion of Voodoo Donut,
Oh, yeah.
honestly,
Yeah. Could be right
because
there on
they've
the
gotten
corner.
bigger and bigger. So I feel like the Ash Street closed a couple of years ago. It was probably prior to 2020.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, sad. I miss it and I don't, I had a good time. I lived in Portland for 14 years. I think we
Yeah,
got to do a lot of stuff, accomplished a lot of stuff, but it was interesting to be there. And during that musical time, during that time in Christian, I don't know, evangelicalism, that was just a super, super interesting time to be there. It wasn't
yeah,
Seattle, it
right.
was something different. It
Distinctly its own
was.
thing.
Yeah, it was. It was really, really something special. Just to have, Brandon from Tooth and Nail come out of Portland, and then the bands that came out of Portland, and then Seattle bands, and then everything just goes boom. Like it was weird, pretty wild.
Yeah,
When I moved there in 1989, I started a club, and there was two like quote unquote alternative bands in Portland that were Christian ease or something, and there was no support or anything. People didn't know about the scene coming from Orange County. They had like, they knew nothing. It seemed like I was like shocked coming from the epicenter of, Christian alternative rock to like people going, who? What are you talking about? It's like, what the
probably felt
heck?
like a step backwards in some ways to show up there and look for, well, what's the equivalent to Undercover here? And there wasn't really one.
They were more like, the stereotypical French people that were like, smoking cigarettes and like, who is this Californian and get him out of here and, blah, blah, blah. And we have our own scene and our own art, our own bands. And that's what happened. I mean, Portland created itself. I watched it happen.
Portland seems to be made of people coming in from other places, and there's still a lot of anti-Californian rhetoric and whatnot. Like that really probably won't ever change, is my guess
Yeah.
at this point. But
Yeah.
we do the best we can. I will say I'm glad that you are there or were there. You had a great podcast unraveling some of the history of the Portland scene, in particular, the Deconstruct podcast with Mikee Bridges, and that was that's still out there. I think if anybody wants to listen to it, but
No.
is it
I
gone?
pulled it down. Yeah.
Oh, for real?
I took it down. Yeah, I took it down.
Never mind. Is that a timeout?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I wanted there to be a purpose to it,
Sure.
and I didn't have a purpose to it. And for somebody to have to listen to some guy talk about, memoirs of his life, I thought it needed a purpose. So I just stopped doing it to, I don't know, reset. I need it to have a purpose.
Gotcha.
And I think I would like to tell the story a little differently. I don't know.
Sure.
Still the same
So
stuff.
in that case, we're just gonna we'll shut up and you can go ahead for about 14 episodes worth, or we'll just release it all here.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like it's a limited thing. It's not a it's not a a podcast. It's just a series of stuff. I mean, there's some stories in there that there's a lot of people I think that should be celebrated throughout that story, but
Right.
that I'd like to talk about, but and to interview some people that were a big part of what happened in Portland. But yeah, I needed a purpose, I guess.
Sure. Well, what I was going to ask you was if you wanted to give maybe a briefer summation of some of like the venue stuff in particular, because you had two different venues that you primarily ran, as well as the Tom Festival. And so
I started in Portland and started my first club on 82nd, almost 82nd Division. So Prostitute's Corner. I mean, it was perfect. But I started there, and then I built that one, and then I built another one after that, and then another one after that. I'm just bringing in bands. I was a big fan. I was just a crazy fan. So much so that I got in some bands when I was in Southern California. I was still living there. And I wanted to expose people to the music that I knew was cool. I was a Christian at that time, and it was, imperative that I find cool music for myself to listen to, but also to share with other people. So they knew there was something better out there. I've been doing it since high school. And coming to Portland where no one knew what was going on, I was like, oh my God, I have so much music to show these people. And so that was it. I did 3 clubs in Portland and then 3 back down in Southern California. The one of the clubs in Portland kind of just morphed itself into a music festival. As a band member, I played all these music festivals and I was like, gosh, I wish they would have done that different, or I didn't like that, or I would do these things. And I was just like, I just want to do it myself. I thought, oh, I've done concerts, music festivals, no big deal. And I was completely wrong. But it was just morphed into wanting a fan wanting others to experience this music that I had experienced, and seeing the bands that I had seen, and myself wanting to be in a band and wanting that experience as well. Just sharing that. I have always loved that. I went to high school with, mixtapes of The Crucified to show my punk friends that we were legit too, motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
like we could go with the best of them. I got all kinds of bands. Give me it. Like I wanted to compete. So I liked that. And to this day, I guess.
yeah, what are some of the things you like about live music? Because obviously it's something you were passionate about bringing to people. What are some of the things you enjoy about live music, either then or now?
It's the experience. It's the chills. I mean, you get the chills, right? Like that's the experience that you're looking for. Human beings, we all have it, whether that's somebody going to worship or somebody seeing a great show, or it could be anything, great art. I
It could be
think
at a
that's
Coldplay concert. Someone you're not married to. It would be transformative.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that'll change your life, won't it? What a great concert. But I like that. I like the camaraderie. I especially loved at TomFest where people had their camps. Inviting. They were very inviting to the outside, but they set up camps. And just seeing people loving on other people, feeding other people, uh, just what happens at a concert or a festival. I just really thought that was great. I was a kid that went into these. I lived in Ventura, which is about 2 hours away from Orange County. Orange County was the epicenter of Christian alternative rock, not Christian rock, but Christian alternative rock.
Alternative.
And I was just far enough away to where it was a little bit hard for me to get there because I was a teenager, you know? And going there was like going to another planet and going to a show with the tables in the back with all this new merchandise or new records I could get or a new recording of something or a freaking sheet for filling out for ordering online later or through the mail. You know what I mean? It was just like a kid in a candy shop. I was like, oh my God, I want everything. I love all of this. That experience. I mean, we've all had that, right? We've all walked it. We wear the shirts. We have it on our walls. We love this stuff. So that experience, I want people to experience that now in a different way than they ever have.
What do you think made TomFest? What did you do there that made it so special? And I ask that I'm not as someone who attended, but we've talked to so many people when they talk about their kind of touring days. Like Cornerstone is special. TomFest always
TomFest,
comes up
yeah.
as
Yeah.
just a
So many
special
people.
favorite. Like the kind of language is different about what you pulled off there. And maybe it's what you said of the camps and the shared experience outside of the music that made it special. But I think some of that happens at other fests as well. What was so special about TomFest that people still talk about it now?
It's the same thing that's happening at TomCon. Uh, so many people are volunteering, not so many, but people are volunteering their time. There's some people that are just really into it and very much volunteering and helping out in so many different ways. The band members that are coming are volunteering a lot of time. Some guys are, some of the musical acts and just everybody's. It's a brother and sisterhood, a family thing, and we all just want it to work. So we're all doing it together. And at TomFest, I had gone to other festivals and we played a bunch. I was in a band called Sometime Sunday, and we got to go and do a whole lot of stuff because it was, kind of the shiny new thing, and played a lot of festivals. And I was like, man, there's a divide between. I'm a fan first and foremost. I'm not a musician. I suck as a musician. I suck as a performer. I'm not, I'm the weak link in any band that I've ever been in, for sure, by far.
I'm going to let
Uh,
you say that if that's how you feel, but I will also say I appreciate what you put out there.
well, cool. I mean, it's the guys really because they elevated everything. It really, truthfully, I was the I was the business side. I pushed every band I was in. So those guys didn't have that. I did.
And you need
Um,
both.
right. When I went on tour and played all these festivals, it was like, man, I just wish we could do something a little bit different. And at that time, Sometimes Sunday was popular and all the first, I mean, we were, the first 10 bands that came out on Tooth and Nail were all friends. And the other labels that were out there from Blonde Vinyl to Betty Rocket, and I mean just all of the Jackson Ruby, all these other labels were out there producing stuff, and those guys were our friends too. Everybody's touring with everybody, playing shows with everybody, and instead of me having to call a manager or somebody's I don't know, their handlers or whatever. I just called them directly and said, "Hey, it's Mikey. I got $200. I'm doing this festival. will you come and play for me? I promise if it goes well, I'll give you a bonus. And there's no bells and whistles. It's just us. There's like a few stages and we're all going to promo it together and just do it together. And, that first lineup, that first year shows you who was in. Like it was just a stellar lineup of guys that were just stoked to be part of something new. We had all gone to Cornerstone too, but it's so far away.
Yeah. And the first year was 95?
Yeah. Yeah. And so we didn't have anything over here that was, close to Cornerstone. So experiencing that and then the camaraderie of the bands that, we were playing with and touring with or showing up to other shows with, I could just, call them. And they all helped. Everybody helped. And the volunteers helped. And my staff that are still my buddies today, like they all just, we all were kids. We were 20, we were 25, like we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And it was
but a
just,
fairground is cheap to rent.
Not so
I mean,
much.
relatively speaking.
But
there are bills to pay.
Yeah, lots of bills that we didn't even know about until the second year. But it was the difference was there was no rock star treatment. There was none of that being put up with. No fools were being suffered. And we were definitely doing it together. And, drive your car up from Los Angeles and play for $500. And, you can camp here. We'll try to get you a meal. This is what we're trying to do. No one made any money, but, it was a thing. And I think it was special for a lot of people.
The setting was a little bit different too. I mean, obviously people talk about the dust at Cornerstone and whatnot, but just for your knowledge, Jared, I know, Kevin, did you play 1 year?
Sort of. Funny story. So back in 2004, my band was out on tour on the West Coast. And,
what's the name of it?
Mustard. It was with a 5 for the S. Yeah, that was the correct reaction to that. So we were part of this thing called the Extreme Tour, where basically we just went and played a bunch of
Ted Broom.
Yeah. Yep. So we were working our way up the coast, and at some point when we were getting up towards Washington, someone called and was like, "Hey, we got you guys on this festival up in Washington. It's beautiful location on these fairgrounds. Or like there's a river, you can see the mountains." And in my brain, I'm going, what festival would be going on in Washington? And I'm like, oh my gosh, is he talking about TomFest? No, this was the year after.
Yeah,
so it was actually not TomFest is what the festival was called that year.
Right. That was Carmen, who's doing Thunderfest now, but she did not TomFest. And now it's X-Fest. They're still doing it. It's still going on this year
cool.
at the Skamania County Fairgrounds. So they're still doing that festival. But yeah, X-Fest.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny. Then I met Carmen at Furnace Fest a couple of years ago, and then with Thunderfest going on, talking to her, and then all of a sudden she brought up not TomFest, and I went, wait a minute. I was like, my band played that.
Right. I remember Ted went to a lot. He came and played TomFest a few years. The Extreme Tour came through, I think, and took over stage, I think. Anyways, but I remember that. Yeah, I went and did something with Ted. I think it was in Texas with Alan Aguirre a few years back. Yeah, but anyways, good people.
Nice. Yeah. So when we're coming out for Thunderfest, I'm actually going to try and get together with a bunch of the guys from some of the bands that we were on tour with on the Extreme Tour. So
sweet. That's cool.
I haven't seen them in 21 years at this point. So
yeah, he did that for a really long time.
Yeah.
Wow. Ted Broom. Remember that guy? I wonder if they're still doing it.
I don't know.
Huh. Interesting.
And if so, will there be a Mustard reunion?
That's the real question.
You never know.
Start practicing. Start practicing. That was my thing for the TomFest thing. I think that's why people talked about it. Even Extreme Tour coming through, like we all worked together. I really liked that kind of brotherhood thing. The Extreme Tour was another something like that. A lot of people gave up a lot of time and a lot of volunteering, and they trekked a lot of miles with that thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. I appreciate people that are doing that kind of thing. TomCon, same thing. People are just being so great. Please buy a ticket. It helps out. All the money's going right back to bringing bands in because it's stupid expensive. Band members, I should say. Accommodations for all those guys and the room that we're in and the sound system and all that kind of stuff. So all your money goes right back into it. It's a not-for-profit event for sure.
So who is involved? I know you've got some lists and some rosters online, but for folks listening here, who are you bringing in, and who are you excited to speak with, to hear from?
Oh my God. I mean, we have pushing 60 guests. So to
Wow.
go through all of those guests would be hard for me here. And we also have 6 moderators. I'm actually going to kind of take a step back, and I'm not going to be involved in any of that stuff, but I'll be there for sure. But I'm just going to be kind of hosting the event. But we've got 6 great moderators from all walks of life. And then our guests run from the early 80s all the way through 2000s. I mean, the 80s are just, there's going to be a happening there. There's a live music performance of the Us Kids All Stars. Us Kids is referring to the first Lifesavers record.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty punk rock record. That thing is, if you listen to it now, for the scene and for where it landed and the people involved, it was a pretty weird listen for us. It was strange. It was um, definitely iconic. But, fast forward all these years later, when they're doing the Us Kids All Stars, and there's 6 band members from 6 different bands from back in the 80s, really popular bands from back then, bands that have literally, they were the trailblazers for what you guys listen to now, what we've listened to now. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have what we have now. And these guys are going to be there playing songs from back then together, which has never happened and probably won't ever happen again. So this will be for our 80s fans. This will be a pretty shocking performance. And then 90s, we have that covered too, but there's so much activity going on. The main thing is interviewing these almost 60 guests from all walks of life, like I said, and then hanging out with them, like in the lobby, telling them your story and getting a photo and getting a signature. And they're not going to leave. They're going to hang out. And you can just they may have a table with some stuff to sell, some merch. Got some guys that have written books, things like that. So it will be a non-dusty, loud way for you to hang out with all of your heroes. It'll be a fun time.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's interesting to me. I feel like this is still very much kind of a niche, and it's not, I don't say that in any way other than good, because I'm part of the niche, but it's interesting to me that, like, I mean, it's been said often that Christian music is bad at telling its own story, though, that there's not a lot of history, there's not a lot of storytelling, there's not a lot of recognition until people die. At that point, you get some sort of news piece or what have you. But, like, in terms of recognizing where we've been, where we've come from, what's going on, and it seems to me like there's almost like it's the alternative thing to do. It's not the main industry that really even wants the story told in most ways, unless it sells a greatest hits compilation. But the alternative spirit, and I think the thing that draws us to it, is probably what you're aiming at here. I'm curious, just Mikey, because you mentioned, like, you've had a change in your own personal beliefs. You wouldn't call yourself religious or a Christian at this point, right?
Right.
Yeah, and
Right.
that's me too. Like I'm definitely culturally informed by everything, and
Right.
I feel like I'm lucky to not have circumstances in my life that make me feel like I have to separate from it. But I'm also
Right.
not there anymore, and so I'm curious for people like you and for people like me. What are the through lines? What are the things that kind of make this interesting to you still?
Um, Throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Like I know I wouldn't call myself a Christian anymore, but I'm not angry in that situation. It wasn't
Mhm.
because of anything except for studying for me. So I didn't have some traumatic event. So I'm not angry. I was treated bad. A lot of people come out because they've been burned by the church or whatever. Man, I got burned so many times by the church that had nothing to do with that.
You seem
being
resilient.
being
Yeah.
Christian and throwing a punk rock show, or oh my gosh, I
Right.
mean, we got
That's an
so much
exercise in being
trouble.
burned.
We got in trouble like all through the 90s for every freaking thing. It's crazy. But um, I celebrate the music. I celebrate the stories. I was on the phone with Gyro the other day, and he produced one of my records, and I got to tour with those guys. And I remember him or Jerome cut my hair on tour, would shave my head, and we had crazy stories. They remember my kids' names, and stuff like that. Just the joy of that, those connections. A high school reunion. I don't know what the fuck people are doing that I were in high school with. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care where they run on the spectrum of culture or politics or religion. It'd just be nice to see that person. That's cool. I appreciate them, and I hope that's the spirit that TomCon has. It's I don't care where you're at. We're not gonna, have church. We're celebrating Christian alternative rock, which, damn it, we got through it. We still did it, and we got beat up from the church and from the world the entire time. So, like, I mean, I got shit on from both ends, and we made it through and had a good time. And you know what? We recorded it.
That's something to
So,
celebrate,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And let's go and hang out and talk about the fun stories we had on tour and stuff people don't know about. And then listen to fans. I want to tell some of the guys that are coming about my experiences I had watching them play back in the 80s and 90s that were very special to me that I haven't got to tell them. Mike, not before he died, I got to tell him what he meant to me. And that was special to me, I think for him too. And
Yeah.
I got a message. We were working on something with Mike just in the days leading up to his death, and got a message on a phone to a buddy of mine that my name was mentioned by Mike too, and it was special to me. But I knew that he hadn't gone without me telling him how much he meant to me. So that was good. I want that situation happening for people. We're not getting any younger, folks, and this is nostalgia is going to last for a little bit, but it's not going to last for much longer.
Right. There's a
But
bell curve there.
let's get together. Let's hang out. Let's figure out ways to get together. And, music festivals, there's a few for you to choose from out there. There's some shows going on I know about. There's TomCon, which is not a music festival, not a show. It is a new thing, but it's a hangout. It's a high school reunion, and you get to come and share in that. And I'm excited to be a fan and go to it. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
appreciate the
very
fact that you
cool.
put this
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, and the time period that's represented, I think, is important here because, like you said earlier, about being a fan who read liner notes, who tried to
yeah.
put pieces together, I think that's represented like with all of us here.
Oh yeah.
But it was a pre-internet era, so you kind of only knew names and maybe the credit they had, or an interview in like a published magazine or a zine. Like you didn't have the access now of a current artist. Like we all know that Taylor Swift got engaged today. You didn't really know about people's personal lives necessarily unless they revealed it in an interview to like a magazine. And even that could be curated. So you didn't have the connection to the person. And I've learned that through this podcast as we've talked to people. Like I just knew them as like a name and an image on a CD or a poster or whatever. And so I knew who they were and I knew the art they produced, but I didn't know anything about them. And so the people that you have at TomCon, I think there is something unique about that era where you didn't have we have podcasts now and some like ways to know more about people, but you didn't have that immediate access to the full person while they were making and producing and sharing the art that mattered to you. So I think it's a really cool idea to go talk to that person and tell them what their art meant to you, for everybody who attends. Because like we're experiencing that through this of
Yeah.
having people on and then getting to say that directly to somebody, and it was like, wow, that does feel very cool to tell someone, I appreciate you, I know what you did, it mattered to
Exactly.
me, I still possess it, I still have it, and I still
Yes.
visit it. And so I think for the group you have represented, it's going to be like a little bit deeper meaning than maybe if it was a modern artist who is maybe sharing more about themselves on a daily
Yeah.
basis or however often they do it, kind of thing.
We had to do some sleuthing. I mean, I remember as a kid, like I wanted to
Yeah.
know everything that I could possibly know or connect. Oh, that guy was in this band too, and this band. And
Mhm.
it's the renaissance of vinyl and cassettes and, CDs and stuff like that. I think people are kind of yearning for that little tactile. Oh, this is what this is. And that kind of, I like this puzzle, as it were.
Mhm.
I enjoy that kind of stuff. But yeah, I came up in that. I still have them. Lyric sheets that I wrote in for. I have a crucified mail in for t-shirts and merch thing that's
Yeah.
like just mail in from back when they put out Take Up Your Cross, like
Oh, wow.
1983 or something. Now, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that TomCon skews to the 80s. It does not. I mean, we've got
Right.
a shit ton of 90s and 2000 folks. Um, I'm a fan of the 80s because that's what I grew up in.
Mhm.
And then I was honored enough to be able to be a part of kind of the 90s movement and all that stuff. So it's a little bit, feels a little bit different. Like the Blamed, I love them as my brothers and my friends. As fan, like I'm a fan of the Altar Boys and Undercover and the
Right.
Crucified and some of the older guys. So, but TomCon has it for everybody. But I'm with you. I want to tell these people how I feel and share my story with them and make them feel good about what they gave to me. I see actors or whatever on flights and things like that flying out of Burbank and all that kind of stuff. And to be able to kind of just pass by and just say, hey, thank you. Not like, can I have a photo or whatever, but just say
Right.
thank you to them and where they're at. I think that the appreciation, that's something that somebody can feel like, oh, that's cool that somebody's, feels that about me.
And everybody likes getting a compliment, I think. But there's also something like the person giving the compliment gets that warm, fuzzy feeling of, oh, I was able to finally impart
Sure.
that piece that I've been holding on to for 20 years.
And I think as artists, some of the artists also want to give that love back too, because they know without the people that were listening to those records, they're nothing anyway. So to give that back, I know like Brian Gray, I just talked to him from the Blame, just talked to me the other day. He loves on people so much all the time and wants to be there so that he can love back on people. And lots and lots of people that are coming to TomCon as artists are that type of person now, loves that interaction between the people that listen to what they put out and themselves, and to give that back, to take it and give. I don't like getting complimented or anything. I mean, for me, it was always lots of people doing it. But to give back to people, um, and to see the joy in their faces, that's freaking fantastic.
The genre that's represented too, it wasn't a commercially profitable life choice. So I think the opportunity to tell someone like those years you invested in like touring and recording and producing art did make a difference, even if financially it didn't do things for you,
Right.
to like to give some, I don't know, some energy or something to that period of their life when maybe they were younger and they sacrificed quite a bit to commit to their art. And it wasn't because they were making money.
Right.
And so to say to them, "Hey, it mattered to me," I think adds has got to feel good because
Yes.
they know what they gave up far more than we did who received it to make that product, that art that we get to participate with.
Right. I agree with you.
And being able to, tell some of these bands, from out on the West Coast, like, hey, I grew up in Massachusetts, and
Mhm.
like we were talking, like the puzzle piece of, you get one band, okay, who's in the thanks? Oh, okay, and in this photo, he's wearing this band's shirt. I should go check out that.
Yeah.
And connecting all those dots, and somehow I ended up with like this demo tape of, that I wrote away to get from this band out on the West Coast, and
Mhm.
I fell in love with it. And it's like, absolutely love this band, and being able to tell them that now, it's kind of cool.
Mhm.
It's weird and surreal for me putting together, even now. I mean, I've done some stuff and a lot of these guys are just my friends, but it's still surreal for me because I've got these giants in my life, legends in my life, calling me or texting me, hey, what about this or what about that in this event I'm doing? And I'm like, holy crap, like, did they even understand what it feels like to be me and interacting with them? I'm going to make sure that they know that because it's a special, special thing. So I'm giddy because putting this thing together. I've never got TomFest didn't go back as far. We
Mhm.
didn't do a ton of 80s stuff, which was my growing up, but we did mainly 90s and beyond. But this is probably one of the most special things I put together because of uh, these people calling me or saying yes, even you know, legends. Like what?
Yeah.
What?
It's got to be a
Okay,
little shot of adrenaline just to confirm each one and say, yes, they're going to be there. This is great.
it is fantastic. It's cool because I did. I mean, I wasn't involved in Christian alternative rock for since early 2000s, and I stopped playing and I did one little thing but nothing of note, and uh just put it all down. Didn't contact very many people, but it was surprising to me how easy it was to get back in the saddle and make there's a few people that are still hard to get a hold of, but most people, this person knows this person, and um uh TomFest was a thing. So TomCon, people trust that name. No bands ever got screwed. We all did it together. We worked together and made them all work. So coming back to do another Tom thing, was pretty easy. It was interesting to me, like all these years later, calling people and like, Mikey, hey. And I was like, oh, you remembered? All right. That's fun. Very fun.
I was going to ask, you've got you mentioned you've been to a bunch of conventions, kind of more maybe traditional, like cultural conventions, but everybody has moderation involved in these panel discussion. What makes a good moderator? What are some of the things that you see and you say, this is what I'd like you to do when you moderate a discussion?
Research. The reason I picked the people that were picked were either being really heavily involved in TomCon, the setup and all that kind of stuff, and knowing the history and legacy of, kind of our scene or whatever. And then people that just had better knowledge than me. I forgot everything. I know some stuff, but I used to get embarrassed at TomFest. I stopped checking bands in at the gate because I cannot remember shit. I mean, I can't remember what
Whose
band
face
that
goes with
is.
whose name? Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's just like, oh. So there's archivists, better people than I that are they understand that, have deep knowledge of it, do the research. A good moderator is somebody that's done the research and knows what to ask and how to bring the audience in and how to connect the people on the panel as well, because there'll be a lot of connections on these panels. In fact, I wonder if the moderator is going to have to do a lot of work because once you get some of these guys talking together, it'll be, a little party, I'm sure. We're going to have some fun panels. And so, yeah, Moderators were picked because of deep knowledge, great podcasts, or guys that were indexers, just had that deep knowledge. I learned about you, Brock, later on. I didn't know. I had to do all my research on your podcast and what you guys were doing and the podcast before that, but I didn't know how deep you went until I started following you.
Neither did I.
And then, and it's awesome. I appreciate you. You would be one of those guys that just, I mean, if I had more need of moderators right this second, I would be asking you in a hot second.
No, it's kind of you. Thank you.
You other guys too.
I was going to say, Pickle Home Companion Guest is I think we've got a third of the moderators represented, right?
I think so, yeah.
Leonore and Jeremy.
Next time, I'm just going to have one podcast. I'll just fly you guys out and let you handle it.
No, I think it's awesome that you're going to have Leonore and Jeremy as moderators. Like, they're going to be great.
Yeah.
But anyway, I cut you off, Brock. Go ahead.
No, I was just, I think I was thinking about like because like you said, Mikey, I've been doing similar things, reading liner notes and kind of drawing the yarn on one pin to the yarn on the other pin for years and years, trying to kind of put together a grand unified theory of who are these people, what are they involved with, and how are they connected. And it's interesting to have all these facts kind of kicking around in the head, right? And then at some point figure out, well, what am I going to do with all this? So at this point, for me, it's just become like, I'm not, I got kids. I'm not like traveling a lot. And so like, for me, my daily involvement is just like, let's post about this stuff. Let's celebrate an anniversary of an album. Let's draw those connections when we can. Let's have conversations with people who know it, like it, love it, we're involved with it. But there's something to it.
I will say this about you guys, that after having listened to, just doing my research and figuring out what you guys are doing and why and all that kind of stuff, the joy that you bring to people is everything. I really appreciated listening to the ones that I got to listen to. Some old friends are on there. Frank Tate. I listened to Frank Tate's. I worked at the Scream a few times. I worked for Frank Tate. I did A&R at 5 Minute Walk. Like, I was close with Frank for a while, and the Prayer Chain guys and all that stuff. But listening to that brought me joy. Listening to some of the other guests you've had, listening to you guys interact with each other and how much fun you have together. It's great. And I love when people bring joy into the world. It's fantastic. So I'm stoked to have been on here. Are we done? No, I'm just kidding.
It's a wrap. You got it.
We said short everything episode. We need to say.
But yeah, I really appreciate what you guys are doing.
So that's kind of you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think more of this should happen. And if us doing it in a recorded format encourages anybody to have a conversation with anybody else about something they love, I think people light up when they talk about the things that they're passionate about, and there's something there.
I would like to get back to it. My biggest problem is an engineer, but other than that, an editor. But other than that, I would like to get back into it because I think that there's some great stories of my friends that were in the scene, and I understand that there's great podcasts, you guys and Jeremy's podcast and all that. There's a bunch of them out there that are great and bring on some of these guys that were in the scene and everything. I don't know, like I have a little bent to it, and I'd like to maybe even talk to those people that I went on tour or played with. And I don't know. I like bringing joy, and I know that people enjoy listening to stuff like that. So I'm super just late to the game. So who knows? I don't know.
Hey, well, I'll look forward to it whenever it happens. The thing about joy is that joy is perennial, right? Like it comes back. And so like if you've got stuff you liked back in the day, it's going to return. You're going to get more enjoyment out of it if you come back to it later. So,
well, we're doing these little TomCon conversations. Get it? Conversations.
Oh, nice. Hey, that's
we're doing some Tom conversations. We're doing little mini, I don't know, podcast, like just little episodes to introduce people to some people that are coming. We just did Brian Gray. We're going to have Leonore Till from 5 Iron. She'll be on, I think, Friday. And then we've got a bunch of people in the queue. Just short, 15-minute, 30-minute, like, what are you doing? what are we doing at TomCon? What is it? And having fun that way. So we're going to do a few of those things before the event. But maybe
Nice.
that'll
Are those
lead
coming
into
out
some more.
on the social platforms?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's on YouTube. We do Instagram Live, but we also post to YouTube and Facebook and all that good stuff. Raphael does a
Excellent.
fantastic job. He's our digital guru guy, so he makes all that happen.
Props to Raphael.
He's in the TomCon staff.
Is that under the TomCon like social media? Is that where we would find it?
You can find it on tomconvention.com, or you can go to any TomCon on
Perfect.
Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. So Tom Convention is the way to find it.
Cool.
Excellent. For those who want to go, when is it and where?
It is October 24th and 25th. It's a Friday and a Saturday, not a Saturday and a Sunday.
Mhm.
It is a Friday and a Saturday in October at the Crown Plaza in Costa Mesa. It's in the Promenade Ballroom. There are discounted room rates available. It's from 11 a.m. sharp, not when you get there, not running late. 11 a.m. sharp. TomFest was on time every time. We had clocks. We were like a machine. One of the rules was if you go over 30 seconds, we will shut down the PA. And we did, most famously on MXPX.
Wow. How did that
So,
go? What happened?
they ran over and they weren't listening, so we shut the PA down.
Right.
So,
Did you get friction later, or was it just like,
I
well,
don't
them's the
think
rules?
so. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the rules. That was one of the things I hated going to other festivals. I'll get back to that other point in a second. But one festival I went to in particular, we were supposed to play like at sometime in the daytime. We ended up playing far into the evening when all of our people had left
Yeah.
because their schedule was so off and they let everybody just play to it. And then it just snowballs. So I was like, that's never going to happen at any of
Yep.
my shows. TomCon's the same. It's 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Both of those days, there's a break in the middle for a dinner time, some din action. There's lots of restaurants right there in the area, right there in the hotel too. But yeah, 2 days, 12 hours a day. From 9:30 p.m. at night until 11, we have our special live music. So the rest of it is panels.
Now, are you going to do the hard cutoff on the panels as well? So if Jeremy's still talking, you can just cut him off.
Yes, yes. He's gonna have a clock on his table, a clock on the front of house, and I'm gonna be back there with a sign going 5 minutes, and then you're done. We have a buffer. I got a little 15-minute buffer, but I'm strict. I've always been very strict.
Nice.
Bands
Do
have
it.
hated me for that. Yeah.
He who controls the sound system controls the clock, right? It controls the schedule.
I cut off sometimes Sunday's last show at TomFest.
Your own
Because-
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had some kind of problem. I think the mains got disconnected somehow, somewhere, and Roy Fisher, extraordinaire, he figured it out, but we only had time to do like 4 songs, and it was literally our last show.
Wow.
And we had to end it because I couldn't
Yeah.
go against my own rules, or I'd have been a bastard.
Right. No special treatment for the organizer.
But we were done. Yeah.
That's
So-
incredible. Did you have noise permitting issues or anything like that? Like, did you have to be done by a certain time?
No.
Okay, yeah,
we
because you're
got
out
all
there
the
in
permits.
Skamania. There's more noise for any, or yeah. But I remember running.
No, we got shit on. We got
ya?
hell from the city. Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
The
Okay.
citizens hated us. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
The businesses loved it. And then we won over the city after like it took us like 2 or 3 years. The businesses after the first year, they were like, welcome TomFest. Because I mean,
Yeah.
all of the hotel. I mean, this is a tiny
Yeah.
town.
Right.
1,500 people, 2,500 people.
Yeah.
So we just overran this town. All the hotels were full. Every bit of places to stay were gone. We ransacked every business in town. Every restaurant had lines. So
Grocery
businesses
stores. Yeah.
oh yeah, they loved us. The citizens didn't. And then a couple of years in, you still had some stragglers, but for the most part, everybody got won over and then wondered where we went after we left.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I did a 30th birthday party that was a music festival, and I was not as committed to the schedule, as it should have been. And so my band got all of its time, but the closer, I think, got two songs
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
But for us, it was a noise permit issue. We had a noise
Ooh.
permit to a certain time. And our hosts, it was a food cart pod in Southeast Portland. They said, when we get to the end of that permit time, you got to turn off the noise because we're going to get in trouble if we don't.
I only
So-
did it because I hated bastard bands that would just overextend their stay and then screw
Sure.
somebody else's time.
Right, right.
That's disrespectful. Like, just don't do
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
So we just
Yeah.
never did that. But TomFest was strict because of that. I just know.
Yeah. Well, maybe
Not
that's
that-
why people love it so much. Maybe because, like, everything. It was very egalitarian. Like, it was
Yeah.
very much like, hey, it doesn't matter who you are. This is the time you get. If you're
Yeah.
here, you get to play.
The clubs were a little bit different. I think we gave them a little
Mhm.
more leeway there, but definitely the festival, that just gets out of control too fast. So we'll be on time at TomCon. God damn it.
Good. Good. There will be order.
Right, there will be. Yes. We're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be an absolutely great time. It's a high school reunion in front of fans. It'll be extraordinary. I like that it's the first time we've done it, and I hope that it's not the last time. But it'll be a good time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was going to ask that if this was a one-off or you hope to make this a continuing thing.
Yeah, I gotta prove it. We
Sure.
gotta get the data back from the first year. Did I make mistakes? Did I do it right? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying something. And if it shows signs that it could be done, or it has legs and something could be done with it. My delusions of grandeur were to do it in in Nashville, in Seattle, or Portland, and here in Orange County or somewhere, LA, possibly Dallas, but do them smaller.
Mhm.
One evening or maybe 2 evenings. If it's just a one-off in one city once a year, maybe that. When I first started looking into it, it was much bigger than this. There was 3 rooms with, overlapping panels and stuff like that. But I had to, my eyes were bigger than my stomach. I needed to like cut that way, way back because of finances. So, it's just a test this time,
Okay.
but a good one at that. Hopefully something else will happen again, but we'll see.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it just,
Same.
based off of, everything you've said and everything, like that we've seen as far as what the setup's going to be, and from talking with Jeremy, like it definitely, it's something I would love to go to, if it continues on down the road. And
Sure.
as we've kind of been saying, it feels like it's going to kind of match the vibe of like what we do here, where it's like you get to hang out with, artists that you appreciate and just kind of talk about whatever and tell stories and have
It
a
is.
good time.
Right. It's exactly that. And people are going to watch basically a bunch of podcasts happen live, you know what I mean? But that's exactly it. It's being able to talk and hang out and share stories and meet people, you know what I mean? Getting to meet you guys is awesome. I appreciate it.
Podcasting in real life.
Right.
It's that meme, right? Of like, what if we did a podcast, but we didn't have mics, so we didn't record it? And it's like, wait, did they stumble on conversation?
That's exactly it. That's exactly
Yeah.
it. But if it takes an event for us to all get in a room together and hang out, let's do that. Again, no disrespect towards festivals. I mean, I know people love live music and clubs and live going to see stuff live. That's fantastic, and more power to everybody doing that. But this is definitely not that. It is a completely different, new event for our scene, for sure.
Well, I like how you've separated it in that way, because I think at a festival, like you hear so many times from the artists, like they're worried about their set, and then there's sound issues, there's practice, like there's so many logistics going into them showing up and having their reunion and trying to see all the people that they don't have as much time. There's a lot of pressure. So this being one where like you can remove that aspect of it and just have the interaction is a really cool concept, because we've heard that from bands like that play Furnace Fest who maybe haven't been around for a good amount of time. And so their time is cut so short of running into the people, and they can't really fully have the conversation because they got to worry about their set and they've got to get ready to play and they got to do the whole thing. And this just lets you enjoy the people
Right.
without that pressure of, well, we've got to perform as well.
When we did TomFest, probably the most happening place to be was the merch tent and the bands behind their tables and their booths, and people getting to know them, and they made friends for life. There's tons of stories on our TomFest former attendees group that I met we're still 30 years later, they're still hanging out with these people. And it is that it's breaking down that wall of the backstage. This is a giant meet and greet, without the pretentiousness of the rock star thing. It's just, we're all people, we played some music. Maybe we're still playing music. Let's hang out and share each other's lives. That's special to me. Going to see a band, great, but I've already seen a bunch of them. And, going to Furnace even, I love that those bunch of old dudes are up there rocking it. That's fantastic. And to see my buddies up there, giving it a go, that was great. I got to see some shows the night before too. That were fantastic. But
you go to that pre-show last year?
Yeah. But I'm tired. Anytime I go to a show now, I want to find a chair.
Yep.
And I don't want to be hot. And I'm the tall guy, so I feel like an asshole, and I don't want to be up, so I'm uncomfortable. I'd rather get the DVD, or I'd rather go to a theater and listen to these guys talk and watch their show. I've seen them play. I saw The Blamed. I saw them a bunch of times. You know what I mean?
On side note, you're on the the 6 Foot and Up podcast. Like everybody's above 6 feet, right? This is tall guys only around here.
It's
just
true.
So you know.
What do you mean?
This
Are you
particular
really?
podcast,
all of us.
Yeah.
Really? So how tall? I mean, what's tall?
I'm 6'3".
Okay, okay. I'll give you
I'm
that.
6'4".
Okay, I'll give you that one.
And I hit 6 feet. So
okay, you're not
I'm the
tall.
short one.
Kevin's our short guy.
I'm the short guy.
6, and even 6'2". No, you know
Pete's, what? What do we say Pete is? Like 6'3", 6'4"?
Something like
I think so.
Oh, Pete's like around there, right? So yeah.
Yep.
Kevin's our short member at 6 feet tall.
Yep.
I was that Opie member that was taller than the guys in his band. Like I was
sure.
There's a couple of the bands that were just like way off. My guitar players and my bass player, like they were just tiny. So I looked like some giant oaf in the front. Ugh, that was, yeah. I don't fit rock and roll music for sure.
Mikey, would you like to play a game with us? And forgive me, Jared, I forget if you already had one. So if you have one, no, you
I'm
don't.
glad you have one, sir.
Well, this is a thing we do with our guests because it's kind of fun to poke a little conversation here and there. I'm thinking I don't have a good name for this, so we'll have to if one arises, that's what we'll call it. But I'm thinking you only know each of us only so much. You know our heights now. That's helpful. But in terms of who we are, what we enjoy, what we're into, might take 1 or 2 questions from you to help you assign us a panel. If we were doing a panel at TomCon, what panel would we be moderating? So, like I said,
they're kind of boring topics. Okay, all right, that's right.
Well, it can be. You can invent a new topic if
this can be hypothetical, right? This could be anything
Yes.
In terms of kind of what might be an interesting thing for us to moderate. So, for Kevin, you can see his record wall. For me, you've seen what I post online. For Jared, you know that he's tall and he likes hardcore.
Gosh. And so I'm supposed to, well, I would just put you I would put you as moderators on the panels I thought you would be the best at.
That's right. Yeah. And these can be fictional, made up panels. They don't have to be panels at TomCon. It could be,
Well,
yeah.
for me, well, that's the problem. Okay, so let's just talk about TomCon for a second. If I had more time at TomCon, I
Yeah.
would get into more specific panels probably
Right.
and work out some topics that are kind of nichey with the nichey, or do some, breakout sessions with some nichey stuff. But for the most part, because we only have 12 panels, there are going to be things that are relatively vague topics. I mean, 80s punk, 90s heavy, 90s alternative. We do have a fantastic women's panel, which would be
cool.
unbelievable because they're poorly unrepresented. We have a Mike Knott panel, with his death this year. And we have a TomCon panel as well. So with your game, I think that I would be just shitty at it because I would just put you on those things that I can obviously see where we would put you, So yeah, I would be probably pretty poor at that. I hope that we can do it again so that we can get it into some more nichey discussions and labels on the panel discussions. But for now, it's kind of a catch-all for some of those eras, We got so many
Sure.
people involved from so many different walks of life. I mean, you have punk, we have heavy, we have alternative, we have rock. And, we even talked to Leonora about it, and she's like, what about horns? And and we just don't have time
Yeah.
to get into the niche stuff. So
that level of detail. Yeah.
So I screwed your game up. I'm really
No
sorry.
problem. No. So here, let's turn it on its head. I'm going to ask Jared, can you identify if you had the ability to moderate a panel at TomCon, what would you talk about and who might you gather?
Yeah, what would you like? Timeout. I have a hard out at 7:15.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're getting
Is
close
that
to
okay?
that. Yeah.
So
Yep.
I know we got a lot of
Absolutely.
time. I'm okay to
Oh, for
wrap
sure.
it up whenever you want to. I don't see a timer, so
Yeah.
I don't know how long we've been going.
Right.
So I'm sorry.
You like timers. I should have started one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But
Absolutely. No,
we
that's
will
all
not
right. No,
go
we're good.
over our set time.
We
That's
will
for
not.
sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I will cut off the Zoom at our appointed time.
That's right.
Perfect.
That's
Is
right.
it
Okay? It's time in.
Is it? And that's when we found the raccoon in the back porch.
I'm cutting Zoom off. Time out.
I feel like it's cheating if I just stole the 90s Christian ska panel.
That's a good one, though.
I would do that one, but it would definitely be the 90s for me, for sure. And I would go the alternative rock of the night, Christian alternative of the 90s, probably, if I didn't go with the easy answer of the Christian ska that I think all of us could claim on here.
Excellent. Kevin,
Yeah.
what kind of panel would you moderate?
You can't say what I said, Kevin, because I took it.
I know that's going to make it tough. All right, so you're going more on the ska end.
I'll take the ska. I'll leave the alternative available.
Okay.
I've got anything with a horn in it, mine and Leonore's.
Okay.
Including
go-
Heaven Bound by DC Talk.
I'll go.
Rumor is Kevin Max might stop by, so a little rumor.
Oh.
little rumor.
Ooh.
Well,
There we
all
go.
the rumors
Working
are true. So,
Jeremy,
working
you'll
on
have to
it.
confirm that for us.
ooh.
Working on it. Sorry to just derail you there.
Oh,
No
no,
sorries there.
we encourage derailments.
Yes.
I'm gonna go late 90s tooth and nail punk.
Ooh. Excellent. Kind of
What
round
about
up
you,
a couple
Brock?
of those folks. Yeah, and mine, I think I'd probably go with prominent ex-evangelicals. So let's get Kevin Max
Oh,
on that
that's a-
panel. Let's
Wow.
get Derek Webb and Bazan. And I'm trying to think if there's any other big names I'd shoot it for to be included there. But just saying, kind of that question of like, what, how is this meaningful to you now that you stand where you stand, where you are? I think that'd be an interesting conversation to
I
hear
love
people
that.
talk about. And
That'd be a
discuss.
full room.
You know what? I thought
Probably.
about that, but I think that's a different conversation because
Right. That's a
in
whole
this
con of its
room,
own.
yeah, and it really could be, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I thought about those kind of conversations, but then I think that then you have to get into so many more conversations, and that
Yep.
becomes another thing. So I
Absolutely. That
steered,
gets kind of
I steered clear from
tricky.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
mean, there's so many people coming from, like I said before, that run the spectrum of,
Right. And we're all here for particular reasons, and let's focus
right.
on the things that we have in common.
But a very, very interesting conversation could be had. I think that would be something people would be very interested in hearing because I would like to hear that one for sure.
Yeah. Well, you'll be
But
on that panel too, Mikey.
I would like, if I was a moderator, which I'm not, I would do 80s alternative rock.
Yeah.
Who would be on
I
your
have some
panel?
questions. Well, most of the guys that are actually going to be there, I would do somebody from the Crucified, Alan Aguirre from Scattered Few, somebody from Altar Boys, somebody from Undercover or one of those bands, the Choir, those kind of bands that came up. You know, what was Orange County like then? Their camaraderie, their brotherhood, how they all work together to move themselves as a scene forward. It's a mirror of what we see now, even with, the communities we see. They had their own and they were successful. And it's fantastic to kind of just go through and see what happened and why. So I'd like that.
Hey, Brock,
Love
do
it.
you
Yeah.
have Altar Boys vinyl?
I don't. I have Altar Boys cassette. I have one of those upstairs.
I have an Altar Boys vinyl, so I have
Oh, you do?
one up on you.
Well, there we go. Yeah, you do.
I have Altar Boys vinyl too.
I would imagine you do.
You know where I got it from, Brock?
Where?
Our mutual friend Jeff Watkins.
Oh, no way. Yeah. From the 90s CCM recovery group.
My real life friend and your internet friend. Yeah.
How about that? I forgot that you guys know each other. Yeah.
Yeah, we went to college together way back. We go back over 25 years.
Oh, I love that.
But
That's
he
great.
sent it to me.
He just recently sold me a great record. Yeah.
Yeah. Some exchange we did at one time. He threw in an Altar Boys record, and that's how I have that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I was never a vinyl guy, only because I had to be in the early days in the 80s.
Sure. That's how you get it.
That's how you get it, or cassettes. And I have a bunch of stuff from, not a bunch, but a little bit. But I was never, once we went to CDs, I was like, great. This is awesome.
These are way more portable.
This is much more compact.
But I still have some gems. I still have a few records that I'm proud to still own from back
And you got to
then.
hang on to those because they're not going to make them again, most likely, right? So,
I'm gonna get them re-signed. So I'm gonna get
there you go.
the
Perfect.
signed ones and get them signed again.
Perfect. See if the
30 years
signature has
later.
changed.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
There you
That's
go.
right. That's right.
Well, Mikey, thank you for joining us. I know you got things to do, so I don't want to keep you. I want to make sure you got enough turnaround time. But thank you for joining us. Best wishes with TomCon. Thank you for gathering people like you are. Thanks for putting the conversations that you are putting together. As you know, we like conversations. So this sounds like it's right up our alley. Best wishes in pulling it all off.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So I hope to see your smiling faces there.
Yeah. And thank you for making a festival that all of our other guests talk about consistently.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm glad everybody had a good time there. I'm glad it was something. That's great.
Can we throw out the pitch for somewhere in the future, a TomCon recap with you, maybe Jeremy, maybe Leonore?
Sure, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. This sounds like it's a good idea.
To get the stories about the stories might be
For
interesting.
sure.
I think that'd be fun.
The stories behind the stories about the stories.
So many stories. We'll do a panel of stories on our podcast.
Perfect. I'll moderate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Next time you guys are the moderators. So perfect.
Fabulous.
Thank you very much for having me. It was an honor.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Thanks for listening to all my stuff too. I appreciate you guys talking about TomCon. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll look forward to talking to you again sometime.
Thank you.
And that's the news from Lake Scabagon, where all the tours are extreme, all the moderators are top-notch, and all of the panels end exactly on
14 when she took her first one. She got addicted to the taste of some. 8 years later and a truck full more on the other side. When she got bored, some man said, hey, it's a big surprise. There's a great big mouth.
How do I leave this chat? Oh, this is how I do. Hey, Kevin, put this at the end. Onward, pickle soldiers. Who are you? Who? Okay, bye.
Oh no. Oh no.
What a perfect podcast, guys. We did it. Or Mikey did it. I don't know. Collectively, we all did it. It was perfect. As it were. As it is. As it will be.
Evermore, heretofore. As above, so below.
Therefore unto.
Go ye into all nations.
Pertaining.
And rate the podcasts on whatever platform you're on.
Listen, subscribe, and rate.
That's right. Yeah.
I hear that's how you improve things, is you leave a review. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's free for the evening. But oh no, he said, little fight is never ever gonna stop. Just breaks your skull, standing on top of it. Oh no, he said, little fight is never ever gonna leave you alone.